Today, we will once again take a look at interesting footage that captures a moment: how Ukrainian FPV drones blow up dozens of newly arrived Russian soldiers in trench. Ukrainian forces have taken out a Russian soldiers in trenches close to the captured eastern city of Avdiivka, according to new footage, as Moscow bears down on Ukrainian positions west of the key settlement. Ukrainian airborne drones detected Russian soldiers moving through wooded lanes under the cover of darkness, Ukraine's 3rd Separate Assault Brigade said in a statement on Monday. The brigade's self-propelled artillery division then fired on the Russian positions, leaving behind scorched earth. Close to Avdiivka, the brigade said. The Ukrainian military then shared a night vision video appearing to show the artillery strike. Russian forces have pressed westward since Moscow captured Avdiivka, a city that had weathered a decade on the front lines in eastern Ukraine and was considered a Ukrainian stronghold. It was the first major win for the Kremlin since it claimed the destroyed Donetsk city of Bakhmut, northeast of Avdiivka. In the weeks since Ukrainian forces retreated from Avdiivka, Ukraine's military has said it has withdrawn from a handful of villages west of the city, including Stepov, Lastochkin, and Sivern. Seizing these settlements helps consolidate Russian positions around Avdiivka, the UK government assessed last week. Russia is also likely seeking to build momentum on the Axis to take advantage of the fact that there are fewer fixed, well-defended positions and urban areas from which Ukrainian forces can defend, the British Ministry of Defence said in an intelligence update posted to social media on Thursday. Kyiv quickly moved to take defensive positions west of Avdiivka, but satellite imagery published by media over the weekend suggested Ukraine had failed to build up high-quality, robust defenses in Russia's path. By the end of February, Russian forces had advanced around 6 kilometers from the center of Avdiivka, according to the UK government. Ukraine's military said early on Monday that it had repelled 20 Russian attacks along the section of the front line around Avdiivka, including in Berdichi, west of the village of Stepov. The operational situation is stabilizing west of Avdiivka, Dnipro spokesperson for Ukraine's Tavria forces covering the front line around Avdiivka, told Ukrainian television on Sunday. In a separate statement on Monday, Moscow said it had attacked Ukrainian positions around Berdichi and several other settlements, taking out 2 Ukrainian-operated tanks, including a US-made M1 Abrams, as well as 3 US-supplied Bradley infantry fighting vehicles. In today's battle, Russian forces are paying a high cost in soldiers and materiel in their invasion, according to Kyiv's latest figures that detail the highest combination of troop and equipment losses since the start of the war, including a strike on a warship. Ukraine's General Staff said on Wednesday that over the previous 24 hours, Russia had suffered troop losses of 1,250, taking the total over the 2 years of the war to 420,270. Kyiv's latest estimate of equipment losses included 21 tanks, 40 armored fighting vehicles, 50 artillery systems, 1 multiple launch rocket system, MLRS. Ukraine said that Russia also lost 58 drones, 1 cruise missile, 56 cars and cisterns, and 12 pieces of special equipment. A drone strike on patrol ship, Sergei Kotov near the Kerch Strait was claimed by Kyiv and dealt another blow to Russia's Black Sea Fleet, taking the total Russian equipment losses on Tuesday to 241, according to Kyiv. Wednesday's tally of personnel losses was the 6th highest since the war began and the most since the 1,290 reached on February 18th. There were 6 other occasions Kyiv posted the same or higher Russian personnel losses, but those tallies did not coincide with total equipment losses as high as Tuesday's. As Russian forces continued to make incremental advances along the front line following their capture of the Donetsk town of Avdiivka on February 17th, they lost more than 1,000 troops on 4 days between February 25 and March 3, according to Kyiv. Russia's other highest losses, according to Kyiv, were 1,250 on December 16, 1,302 days earlier, 1,270 on December 5, 1,280 on November 30th, and 1,330 on November 15th then. Although Ukraine's counts are thought to be roughly accurate, while estimates from Western governments provide lower numbers. In February, Andriy Kovalyov, spokesman for Ukraine's general staff, said that Kyiv's figures were total combat losses and included both dead and injured. This followed Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's statement on February 25 that 180,000 Russian soldiers had been killed in the war so far. Zelensky revealed for the first time Ukraine's losses, which he said were around 31,000, although U.S. officials told media in August 2023 that around 70,000 Ukrainian soldiers had been killed and around 120,000 wounded. Currently, Ukrainian forces have stalled Russia's advances in some areas west of the recently captured Avdiivka. Dnipro Lihovy, a spokesperson for Ukraine's Tavria group, reported on March 6. Ukraine's military has managed to stabilize the situation and slow down Russian advances near the villages of Novoselivka, Berdichi, Tonenki, Pervomaisky, and Nevelsky west of Avdiivka, Lihovy said on national television. Russia controls parts of Berdichi and Tonenki, but the defense forces are doing their job, inflicting significant losses on the enemy, added Lihovy. Moscow is reinforcing its troops to capture Novomykhailivka near Marinka, which has become one of the hottest areas of the front. Lihovy told Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty on the same day. There are more assaults there every day than in the Avdiivka sector. For example, yesterday there were 20 attacks in the Avdiivka sector and 30 assaults in Novomykhailivka and its outskirts.